Just thinking
Live.
about it, and then we're on air. Okay.
Hello, cruel world.
Let's hope they're still
All right,
there.
so why don't we start? They still appear to be here. So why don't we start by everybody going around and introducing themselves? I will begin. Not that I think anybody watching this really needs an introduction from me, but yeah, let's do it anyway. Anyway, my name is Aaron. I'm the online play czar for Fire Opal Media, and I'm probably best known for my Forgotten Sagas of 13th Age campaign. And I'm also one of the writers for Tales of the 13th Age, the organized play program for Pellegrini. So why don't we start with C then? Why don't you introduce yourself next?
Okay. Stephen Abel. I've been hanging around for 13 Age for a little while, about a year now. Done a bunch of online gaming at RPGX. And I guess my only real claim to fame in the community is I wrote up the Dragonleaf tree from the Midgard Bestiary for Kobold Press because I thought it was cool.
All right, Draco, you're up next.
Cool. So my name's Michael. I also go by Digital Draco on the Twitters. I help run Contessa's social media and hang out at Twitter and Google Plus, chatting about games all the time.
And I'm also Michael, pretty new to 13th Age. I've been kind of following it, but I've only played one session before. So, and I play a lot of face-to-face games and kind of hangout games, a variety of systems. I like playing lots of different things rather than being focused on any one or two games.
Okay. Let me turn your volume up, Michael.
I can probably...
When you dropped out the volume adjustments I'd made on my end, it disappeared. If that's okay. All right, so let's get to customizing these characters. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through. Obviously, you're going to pick your name, your character's gender, and all that sort of thing. That's why do I not have a character sheet open? It doesn't matter. All right, so why don't we go first? And how do we order this? No, we'll go one at a time. So first thing I want you to do is you're going to do your one unique thing. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, it's basically what your character is in some way unique in all of the setting, all of the Dragon Empire. There's one thing that your character is or can do or is something about them that nobody else in this setting can claim. There is just something unique about them, and this can, in a lot of ways, this can have an effect on the gameplay. Your one unique thing can come up a lot in terms of the stories your kind of character sees or the interactions that your character does, depending on what it is. It can also be an interesting flavor effect. The one unique thing usually does not have is a mechanical effect. So, for example, if you say that your character is the one unique thing is that they're the only elf with wings, then chances are, at least for a starting character, those wings are going to be purely a visual thing. They're not going to actually be functional. As you go in levels, as you gain level, I should say, a one unique thing might have a mechanical effect, but that's purely up to the GM and the player and kind of working things out. But it's recommended that for the most part, one unique thing does not have a mechanical effect on the game. So with that in mind, why don't you guys figure out your one unique things? You can go back and forth between one another and bounce ideas off, or if you have a good idea of what you want to do, you can go ahead and go straight for it.
Oh, I'm all set, actually. So I'm going to be playing the Halfling Rogue, and I've decided that my Halfling is from up in the area of the Dragon Empire near the Queen's Woods. specifically up from what is it, Old Town and Twispen Borough, and I've decided that for his one unique thing that he's actually leaf-blooded. So this is a concept that they came up with in 13 True Ways for the elves. So normally when you wander around the Queen's Woods, you kind of get lost if you're not an elf. But my character doesn't. My character has some sort of elven blood somewhere back in the past, and is actually recognized by other elves by elves as having a Fey heritage, and can actually wander around the area. Okay.
All right.
If that seems acceptable.
That's fine. If this were an ongoing campaign, I might push you a little on it to make it somewhat more unique in some way. But it's not bad. That's just a personal preference as a GM that I like more. I don't want to say outlandish, but I want more usable when you need things. But that's fine. No, not to say it's bad. It's not at all. So Draco, do you have any ideas for yours?
I do. So I'm playing the Dark Elf Sorcerer, and he was born with an eye of silver. He is unaware of whether this is a blessing or a curse yet.
Is it an actual silver metal eye, or just silver colored?
Silver colored. It looks pure silver. He can still see out of it.
Okay. And it's just one eye. Which eye, left or right?
His left eye.
Okay. Does that mean that people have given you nicknames because of it?
Possibly. He tends to try to shrug them off, but it doesn't stop people from affixing them to him anyways.
Okay. All right, that'll work.
He doesn't like.
How about you, Michael?
So I'm going to play Vetranax, who's a gnome bard, and what I was thinking about, it just brought to mind something from Silmarillion, actually. So the idea that maybe he sang kind of a song that was powerful enough that it actually put the Crusader to sleep, and then he robbed him.
Okay.
So thus he has some problems now. So
I can imagine this. Yes. Okay. So those are all our one unique things. The next thing we're going to fill in is it's going to be the icon relationships, and the icons are the NPC movers and shakers of the setting, in the same way that that Aragorn and Gandalf and Frodo are important pieces of the Lord of the Rings setting, or you can look at Greyhawk and see all the different arch wizards and Lord Roblar and all the other the council. What is the name of the council? I can't remember that thing. But either way, they are the movers and shakers. They are the NPCs. They drive a lot of plots and a lot of the background in the setting, and every character has a connection to at least one, but possibly as many as 3 different icons in some way, shape, or form. It can be a positive relationship where you and the icon are on the same page. You're generally helping out each other, and you have the same kinds of goals and ethics and morals and that sort of thing. It can be a conflicted relationship where you might not get along all the time with that icon and their followers. You might have the same kind of goals, but you don't agree with the methods, or vice versa. You might think that they're doing good things for bad reasons. And finally, there's the negative relationships, which is you are actively opposed to the icon and their followers and what they're doing, and conversely, that they don't really like what you're doing either. So you basically get 3 points to spend to create your icon relationships. I would prefer that you don't have any positive relationships with negative icons. which for purposes of this, the negative icons which I'm declaring are the Orc Lord, the 3, and the Lich King, and the Diabolist. The Crusader I'm considering ambiguous. Same with the Prince of Shadows. So one thing to keep in mind for purposes of this, is that your icons will determine what the scenario is tonight. So if you guys want to, explore a specific icon and see what they're about, you would be best served to pick that icon as one of your relationships. And Draco, are you familiar with them at all? Have you looked at 13th Age, or should I read out the full list?
Yeah, I've looked over them.
Okay.
So I was thinking about 2 points negative with the Crusader.
Okay.
And 1 point positive with the Prince of Shadows.
Okay,
that would make sense.
I was looking at 2 points conflicted with the Elf Queen, my halfling rogue who could wander through the Queen's Wood sort of at will. His thievery background, which he gets for free from the character, is actually Queenswood Bandit. So he's been practicing his thievery throughout the woods, but as he does have a special connection with the Fae there, I don't really know it's him who's been doing all of the thieving. So he is sort of welcome there. So I thought conflicted would work well there, and I thought a positive point with the Prince of Shadows also seemed appropriate for a rogue.
Okay. And how about you, Draco? Any ideas?
Yeah, I'm thinking 1 point conflicted with the Elf Queen, just as a tie-in to his silver eye. Some elves take it as an ill omen, and so he has conflicted interactions with those who are in her favor.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, is the Archmage more for like wizards, or does sorcery also fall under his purview?
Yeah, both.
Okay, so I do like 2 positive with the Archmage then.
Okay. That's an interesting collection. Nobody ever makes it easy on the GM. It never happens.
What did you want, Aaron?
It's just. I'm not saying I want this. I'm just saying that it's usually if everybody has like the same type of relationship with one icon, then it's very easy to pick this scenario, or at least a similar relationship, or possibly even connected. Like if you'd all picked, like if you'd picked Diabolist, Crusader, Great Worm, that would have been very easy because that would have been all connected. I'm not saying that you have to change this, because I can work with it, but it just seems to players seem to naturally gravitate to let's see the most diverse collection of icons that we can possibly use, and go from there.
Well, Steve and I at least both have negative relationships with the Elf Queen, or conflicted rather.
Conflicted, and the other 2 of us have positive with the Prince of Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's some connection there. But
stuff,
the Crusader, Archmage, and
basically I've rewritten these demos so that I'm putting some of this on you anyway. So let's find out. But next, first, before we get to that, backgrounds. Backgrounds function like skills in other games. There's no defined skill list in 13th Age, and I think it's fantastic. It's still one of my favorite parts of 13th Age.
Me too.
So instead of having to pick and choose, and are you going to do something that's for flavor or for actual game benefit, you can do both. So if your character was a city guard, before they became an adventurer, then they can put city guard down as a background and thus use that as a skill for anything that a city guard might have done at some point, whether it be jumping across rooftops, interrogating people, breaking down doors, rescuing, first aid, that sort of thing, and it's part of why I love the system. It's very free form. So you guys have 8 points to spend on that, no more than 5 in any particular background. And Stephen, as you mentioned earlier, has an extra 5 points to spend on a thieving background.
And Draco's got an extra 2 points to spend on a magical knowledge background from the Archmage Heritage.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I haven't had a
Arcade Heritage.
Yeah, I haven't had someone play one of those in I don't know how long. So yes. So you have a free 2 point. You can add it to some other background, but again, you do not go more than 5 points in any particular one.
Well, I can start off with what I had figured out beforehand, but I could use some help fleshing some things out. So the free 5 points in thievery, again, I'm calling a Queenswood Bandit. As part of the concept of the character, the Gold Leaf is a river that runs through the Queen's Woods, and halflings have this group of nomadic halflings that are called Riverrunners. They don't really have a fixed abode. They sort of travel and trade along the river route. So I was going to have a Gold Leaf Riverrunner background. So diplomatic, trading, traveling along. Don't know how many points to put in it yet, but that was the one other background I'd sort of had fleshed out in the concept of the character coming into today.
Okay. Let's see what everybody else has, and maybe that'll kick some ideas in that direction. Draco, do you have any thoughts to start?
I'm thinking about tying something into his charisma. Something like I always get my way. Just he's very kind of as a coping mechanism to the stuff that he gets from being silver-eyed. He has a way of persuading people and getting out of problems by talking his way out of them.
You wouldn't want me to burn this down now, would you?
I'm not sure that's charming.
Force of personality.
No, not necessarily like that, but yeah, just he has a way of he's good at, he doesn't mind resorting to other methods, but he's really good at talking his way out of situations.
Mm-hmm. Silver-tongued.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be okay. Part of me wants to push it back into what life experiences, what actual background events led to you getting these skills. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a profession, but it usually has to. It's usually it's tied to something that you are doing at some point. So, yeah, like Silver-Tongued Wanderer would be better than I Always Get My Way. Okay. I Always Get My Way is very. I understand where you're going with it, and in that respect, it's fine. It's also a bit too broad. In that respect. So maybe specifying it down a little bit would be good. So, Michael, what about you? Any ideas?
Yeah, so I've got a couple that are kind of following from Stealing from the Crusader. So I'm thinking something that's like well-traveled. I'm always on the run because I'm being hunted, basically. So I was thinking something like kind of all over the Empire. I've been everywhere, so I'm familiar with customs and people all over the Empire, basically, because I'm always on the move. I wanted thinking of something that is going to support being a bard and knowing songs and stuff. So I'm thinking just kind of wandering minstrel, something like that. And then I'm thinking again, kind of earlier, why I was stealing from the Crusaders. I was a member of a gang in First Triumph. So probably I was the distraction. They did the stealing. But since I was the one person the Crusader saw, they then booted me out so that they couldn't be caught. It was just me. So I'm kind of a former member of the Red Knives gang as another one. So I'm familiar with that kind of. I was the scapegoat because I was the one that was seen, right? So,
should have seen that coming.
Yeah, well, I'm. My intelligence is I guess it's my second lowest stat. So.
All right. So any other thoughts from Stephen or Michael, or Draco, I should say?
I think I'll go ahead and just do the silver-tongued wanderer that you suggested.
Okay.
Do it that way. Spend 2 points on that.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time coming up with sort of looking through the character to see what the character does, to see if that sparks anything.
What kinds of things did you envision your character having done before in their life?
Well,
I mean, you said you had the Queenswood Bandits and you had the Riverrunner. Have they done anything else besides that? I mean, what was there something more specific about a Riverrunner that maybe they were kind of focused on? Like the trading or the diplomacy or something like that?
Well, that's a good question. Probably probably the trading would be an interesting side of that. Trying to think what else I could flesh that out into. Should have taken a look at the map.
if you've been wandering around the Queenswood, are you good at like forestry kinds of things, or good in I don't know, some wilderness or?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I guess mostly we were on the river. Trying to again sort of see what's leaping out. What else could I have done as a kid? Yeah.
See, you're a halfling.
I'm a halfling.
Do you love cooking?
I mean, you could always do something like that. I guess
there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't.
Yeah. So he's got the tumble talent. So I'm sort of wondering whether he picked up some entertaining capabilities, sort of while he was wandering. Whether that was part of what? Barrel riding?
Very well could be.
Very well could be. Yeah, so we could do some acrobatics or some campsite entertainer sort of skill.
I like campsite.
Good for.
That's acrobat I see a lot.
Yeah,
Campsite entertainer, not so much. That's more unique.
Okay. Well, why don't I put that down? Would encompass, sleight of hand, little magic stuff, or the tumbling.
So, how about you, Draco? Any further thoughts?
I'm trying to figure out what I could do with those extra 2 points of magical background, and I'm wondering what qualifies for that.
I think according to the book, it's some sort of acquiring magical knowledge. But I'm double checking in the book right now.
Okay. Because I'm thinking, I feel bad because I keep tying stuff back to that silver eye idea, but something like an eye for magic, where he just kind of has a sense for where magical things are. Like he does, it's almost subconscious. Not necessarily like a detect magic kind of thing, but just there's something somewhere around here that's magical. but not necessarily like, oh, right there, that thing right there is magic.
So the wording is you gain a +2 bonus to a background that involves or suggests magical knowledge or talent. So it's actually,
it could be like arcane sensitive or something like that.
Right.
That would indicate it fairly well.
So yeah, if that's cool, I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna dump like 4 points into that, so 2 regular and then 2 of the bonus.
That's fine. So that leaves you with what? 4 more left?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 more.
And then I want to tie something into the other characters so that we have some similar stuff going on. I'm thinking Steven's Halfling, you're playing kind of a like, what is your character runs on the river with other Halflings?
yeah, that's where he grew up. His family ran the riverboats, and they did trade up and down the riverways, which is not exactly the safest occupation, given that when in the background, assuming Aaron keeps with this, the Midland Sea is calm because of something in an earlier Emperor Archmage big spell they cast on it, which pushed all the monsters out of the ocean, and frequently a lot of them went into the rivers. So the river running is not exactly the safest occupation in the world. Safest way to make your living.
What if my character offered to lend his arcane talents as sort of protection in exchange for a chance to see if he can find any arcane items or spell books or that sort of thing along the way?
That seems interesting to me.
That seems fun.
So I can spin that into a background.
Magical Enforcer.
Nice.
There you go.
Done.
Arcane Enforcer.
That actually goes pretty well with his cruel battle ability.
Yeah, probably. Anybody not done with backgrounds? Anybody still need something left?
I'll just dump the rest of my 4 into that.
Probably a good idea. Generally having a few good, or at least one really good background and then a couple okay backgrounds is better than having, 4 2-point backgrounds or, God forbid, 8 1-point
pointers. There you go.
That would be. I would kill that character on mercy.
Part of me wants another background to sort of break the 8 points into 3, 3, 2, but I'm just not coming up with it. So maybe I will just keep it and do a 4 and 4 for Campsite Entertainer and Riverrunner.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you've got the Queenswood Bandit too, so
at 5.
You're not hurting for flexibility on that.
Okay.
All right. So we have our characters set.
Do you want names?
Did we actually name all the characters? I don't think everybody mentioned their characters.
We have not.
All right, so let's go around and introduce our characters now that we're actually finished making them. Why don't we start with Michael, aren't you? Because I think you started the naming first.
So my character's name is Vetranax. Vetranax the gnome.
Okay.
And it's in Roll20 on my avatar.
Okay. And Draco.
My dark elf sorcerer is Halister, Halister, Halister.
All right. My halfling rogue is Finbul Padfoot, Finbul.
Finbul or D?
B. I'm typing it into the chat. Not sure how you would change your avatar name.
It's in the settings there.
It's over in the scene area.
I got it.
You don't have to do that, but if you want to, that's fine.
I did.
All right. With that, I shut my notes, which does not. Yes. All right. So you all are in you're near a village called Cario in the eastern half of the Dragonwood, and for relative purposes, that's roughly to the northeast of the Queenswood, north of the Fangs, which are west of the Queenswood. This area is a frontier for the most part. There are a lot of forested communities of elms, gnomes, and halflings around here, but it is pretty far away from the protections of the Imperial legions, and it can be pretty dangerous when tribes of goblins or kobolds or, God forbid, the orcs go on the warpath. So, starting with, let's start with Michael. Why is your character traveling to this village of Cario?
Well, let's see. I think I was in Nomad, looks like kind of the nearest larger town, and traveling around at the inns, and I got spotted by some troops of the Crusader, and so I ran out of town, and I figured I needed to go to some smaller places that are going to be less likely to have Crusader soldiers in them and lay low for a while. So I thought I'd head due north to the woods and start traveling through the villages just to lay low.
Okay. And Draco, why is Hallister traveling with Vetranax to the village of Cario?
He encountered Vetranax along the road to the village and discovered that they were both heading in the same direction and offered to journey together because there's safety in numbers.
That there is.
Okay. And finally, why is Findle heading towards the village of Cairo? Why are you traveling with these two?
Well, traveling with Vetranax because of our connections from the river running. I'm sort of curious how close the town is up to the Green Star, or the river that's sort of up there. I'm sort of wondering if there may be a reason to go meet some of my kin up in that way.
It's closer to Nomad than the Green Star.
Okay.
Towards the eastern half.
Alrighty. Well, it's always good to be off trading and checking out new things. And things could have gotten a little warm for us in the Queenswood, and maybe a break is required. So I can see us traveling up there to get away from the heat. So all fairly similar reasons.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're not doing so good at getting away from the heat because it's a warm summer day.
Yeah.
Just a hint of a breeze, but not really enough to be a relief. Just enough to make you wish there was more of it. It is otherwise a pretty nice day. It's just a little warm, but the breeze carries a hint, not just of the smell of flowers and trees and other things like that, but as you approach the city, or the town, I should say, it carries a hint of smoke as well, and not in the quantities that you think would just be normal cooking fires or chimneys and that sort of thing. It's a fairly brain just shut down. It's a lot of smoke that you're smelling in the air. You don't, and as you start to smell it, you look for it, and you can see that yes, there's black clouds coming up from the area up ahead. As you reach the village, you can see that Cario is predominantly elven village, and it's obvious that this is the case not just because you see a lot of elves around, but because the trees are actually the homes themselves. They're not freestanding structures. So like the dark elves will live down among the roots. The wood elves will live more in the boughs and the branches. And the high elves really don't like the woods too much. So they're not around at all. But in any case, as you approach, you see these tree homes have been scorched. There's evidence of fighting. It looks like there are the remains, the scorched remains of arrows sticking out of several of the trees, not to mention some of the other buildings and the structures in town. And as you're walking along the road, you see probably the biggest tree in the town has also been made into a building of sorts. And you see a lot of people standing around, kind of milling around. Some people are being treated for wounds. Some people look like they're just confused and don't know what to do. But as you approach, there's an older elf in a red robe that he looks like he's been talking to everybody. So he's probably a villager of some importance. As you approach, he looks up, he sees you, and kind of excuses himself from the crowd and starts to make his way over towards you.
Well, seems like none of us may find what we had originally sought here, but we might find other things of interest.
Adventure and treasure, maybe.
Perhaps.
So the old elf kind of hobbles his way over to you. It doesn't look like he's wounded, just age and decrepitude. And,
Alistair cocks his head at him and watches as he approaches.
And he reaches you and he inclines his head and says, "My name is Sahrila. I'm a village elder, and I have to ask, what brings you to our fair town?"
Well, we had come hoping for some trade and some entertainment, but it seems you guys have fallen on some hard times. Perhaps the better question is, how can we help you?
That is very kind of you to offer. I was about to inquire if you could give us a hand with our particular situation. As you have seen, we were attacked earlier this morning. There are orcs riding out of the Dragon's Woods. We're not sure why they were attacking. They're orcs. They might not have had a reason at all. We were caught completely unawares, and only the bravery of a local boy who mounted his horse, took a sword from one of the guards and charged them. Only his bravery drove them off. However, he was wounded in the attack, and it appears that the orcs took several captives with them. If they had just fled, then perhaps your help might not have been needed. But unfortunately, we don't have the resources to continue protecting the town and to rescue the captives the orcs have taken. If you are offering your help, we could desperately use it to recover our friends and family.
Did the young lad who was injured, was he carried off, or is he somewhere still about the town?
No, he is still here. He is in one of the healing trees, his wounds are being tended. He is in no danger of dying, but he is also unable to fight for probably several days.
How many people do they carry off?
We believe it to be 3. It's possible that one of the townsfolk in the outer the outer areas could have been taken off too, but we know of at least 3.
Well, I think we could do this.
I can't offer you much, but if you can bring our people back, I can promise you some sort of reward. But that I don't know what it will be. We're not a rich village, but I can speak with the other villagers and see what they can spare in return for risking yourselves for our village.
Well, perhaps we should begin by talking to this brave young lad.
I'm not sure how much he can tell you. He's been drifting in and out of consciousness. But if you would like to see him, I can show you the way.
Okay, and then I guess we can follow the tracks, perhaps, if any of us are good at doing that. Perhaps the bandit is.
Perhaps.
Very
It's possible.
It's possible.
Well, let's at least try to go talk to the person who's seen what we'll be up against firsthand. He probably got the best look, and if there was anything that could indicate where these folks may have come from, where the orcs may have come from, or any identifying marks or signs on the orcs, then we can make sure we're finding the right ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're led over to one of the other trees. This seems to be, looks like it's more of a makeshift hospital. It's probably more used for spiritual services most of the time. You can see a number of people laid out on benches and chairs with bandages, some of them conscious, some of them not. The village elder leads you to a boy in green, probably no more than the elven equivalent of 16 or 17 years old. Not coming to his full growth, shaggy blonde hair. He looks young, and the fact that he went out and charged these orcs alone is astonishing, given the looks of him. As you approach, he isn't awake. He looks like he's not unconscious, but he is asleep, breathing steadily. The elder bids you stay, and he goes to look to find one of the people who's acting as a makeshift nurse, and talks to her for a moment. And it looks like she hands him a couple of things before he comes back over. And when he gets back, Sario says, she says you can wake him if you feel it is necessary. But otherwise he should not be disturbed longer than you need to.
Do we need to talk to him, or just some of the eyewitnesses, just to get a description of the orcs?
Does anyone know why this child took it upon himself to fling himself into danger?
The villager, the village elder kind of shrugs and says he's always been an adventurous sort. He's always been the kind who likes excitement. He's never been a what you might call a farmer in mentality.
It's a fine line between bravery and foolishness, I suppose.
I have to say that without him doing that, who knows how many more might have been slain or kidnapped, or whether the village would still be here at all.
Did he attack before or after they had already started taking people? Is this a response to their mere presence, or he attacked before? Okay.
He attacked before. They only started taking people when they began to flee.
Okay.
So, if they were raiding here for slaves or dinner, they certainly didn't decide to do that right away. It was only It was only after they were attacked that they take some villagers with them.
Well, gentlemen, do you feel the need to disturb the young man's sleep, or shall we just move along?
I don't think we need to.
I mean, I suppose he'll be here if we decide that we need to disturb him later.
Well, it was good to look on such a brave young man, and we will take his example forward with us as we see what we can do.
Very well. I'll show you the direction they fled. But as you might expect, we've been more concerned about taking care of everybody in the village than sending out scouts or the like. It's something that we would need to do to make sure that they don't come back, or if they were to come back, so that we would be more prepared. But we haven't arrived at that point where we've been able to do so. But I will show you the area they came from as best as I can. And so he takes you out of the makeshift hospital and leads you towards the southwest of the village. And he points to a stretch of woods and says, "This was where they were first sighted. This is where the first arrows came from. I don't know that they could have hidden their trail and actually their camp is in another direction, but let's be realistic. Orcs are not the most tactically minded creatures out there, so I suspect if you head in that direction before long, you will discover some sign of the orcs, which will lead you inevitably to them."
And they left the same direction they came from.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
But as I said, I'm not sure what kind of reward I can offer you but until then, it's dangerous to go out there. So please take these. And he hands you a couple of vials full of red liquid that Hallister recognizes immediately as healing potions.
As what kind of healing potions?
Healing potions, yes.
Okay.
And you can feel they feel like cinnamon tastes.
Ooh, synesthesia. Magical synesthesia.
Exactly. So at least that's my interpretation of how your arcane sense.
I like it. I'll roll with it.
So yes, they feel like cinnamon.
Awesome.
Ouchie.
Hallister gracefully takes it, places a hand on the gentleman's shoulder, and says, "This is enough to get us started. You'll have plenty of time to think of other commensurate rewards while we're in the relationship."
Attacks like this are never good for trade. So if we want to improve our prospects here, this is a good place to start.
All right, so you guys heading out into the woods to search for orcs?
Hit the road.
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
so.
We don't fit
So
it.
we're gonna.
Did he give us one each of the potions?
No, he gave you 2. Total.
Okay.
So,
Noted. So one of us has to not get hurt. I vote me.
you were
As the
all
one-
very squishy, so this should be.
Yeah.
Well, so, the bard can heal us
I
a
can kill
couple
you.
times in battle, but
Yep.
can't heal himself that way, I don't think.
That is correct.
So he should probably get one.
We'll see.
We'll see. Are you keeping both of them? Is that what you're saying? How many hit points do you have?
Hallister's a little bit mercenary.
I see.
Hmm.
Well,
Well, it is one of your background, so it makes sense. Okay.
it's all right. If he keeps both of them himself, I will find an appropriate opportunity to relieve him of one in the way that a Queenswood bandit is what to do.
Okay.
It seems like you guys are stealing it back and forth from each other the whole way through.
I like this. I think this should happen until the scene resolves. Just assume that's a thing that happens.
We'll do it like this. I'll call for rules at the appropriate time. So, all right. So, starting with Steven. All right. What is an obstacle or danger that you guys faced while you are tracking the orcs in the woods?
Well, I think an obstacle we had was keeping the other folks a little more quiet. We come across a couple of lazy rear guard of the orc, because while they're not the most technically savvy of the folks, they at least know to sort of keep an eye out behind them. And we had to get around a couple of them, taking a little bit off the beaten path, and don't have
Just describe the obstacle, not the solution.
Describe the obstacle. Okay, sorry.
Yes. Describe the obstacle, not the solution.
Okay, we've got an orc rear guard to attempt to evade. Yeah.
All right. So Draco, how does Alistair get everybody past that?
Past the rear guard.
Yeah.
How can we get him past the rear guard? I will send out my familiar to distract them to both and get them out of our way.
Okay. What is your familiar, by the way?
He has, what is a ghostling? I'm going to go with, I'm leaning towards imp, but I'm curious what a ghostling is.
Do you know? I have no idea.
Haha, stump the GM. Experience points, please.
I don't have any people playing with sorcerers right now.
Ghostling.
So yeah, it says imp, homunculus, ghostling.
Maybe it's an
little
actual
ghost then?
spirit. Yeah, it's an
Like
actual
like
little
Casper.
Ghostling.
It's
Yeah,
Casper.
right. Awesome.
Because I'm pretty sure that they don't have like stat blocks for those or descriptions anywhere. So yeah,
His
as far
familiar
as I'm
is
concerned, it's
Casper's
safe.
evil twin. Casper, the not so friendly ghost.
Mm-hmm. If it was an imp, it'd be hot stuff.
All right, so go ahead and roll a background check. And the way this is going to work is it's going to be your background plus an attribute. I think in this case it's probably charisma.
Okay.
And plus your level.
Okay. Can I? Which background would I use? Would it be like the Silver Wanderer, maybe, to kind of have my familiar tease and taunt and persuade them away?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. So that's 2, and charisma is 3. So I roll
Plus your level.
There's your level.
plus my level, so plus 2. So that's 2,
7.
5, 6, 7. So is it d20 plus 7? Is that how that works?
Yes, D20 plus 7.
All right. Do, do, do. 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 No, not 3d20, 2d20. 20.
1d20.
There we go. All right. So I got 13.
13. Okay. That is a failure, and that means that there is a problem. You lead the orcs away. The orcs are no longer a problem. The problem is that when you start going along farther, you realize that they weren't just sitting around guarding; they were putting up bear traps.
Ouch.
And you're not sure whether they're doing it because they're just guarding things or because you just think they're funny. But either way, you have a chance to dodge out of the way of the bear trap before you step in it, Alistair. Make me another background check to avoid stepping into the back, to notice them. So let's do plus wisdom. This is perception. Wisdom plus background plus level.
Is there a way that my magical enforcer background could be relevant?
I think so, because yeah, that's you're a mercenary there. You used to
Right.
sharp eye out for things.
All right, so that gives me a +5.
Nice.
Hey. Boom.
23. Okay, so you go walking along. You're happy that the orcs are out of the way. You're feeling pretty good about
Chuckling
yourself.
to myself is what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly. And you go to put your foot down at the very last second. Your foot touches something metal that you know should not be there, and without even thinking about it, you just jump over it.
Nice.
And dodge out of the way of the bear trap, which wouldn't so much be a trap in your case as it was, you're not going to have a leg from the ankle down. It's that big. Actually, more like the knee down. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll spin around and look down at it, and then look up at my companions. I'm like, so these are here. I don't know why these are here, but these are here, and probably don't step on them.
I think I figured that out.
So
Should send your ghostling
roll
along.
20. Roll 21. The Benny for best software. The gold.
Hollister's now scanning the area
Wow.
for more traps. Like a good missionary.
You don't find any traps right around here.
Okay.
All right, moving on to actually Draco. You now get to describe an obstacle or a danger.
Okay. So we're following. Are we following tracks, or are we just kind of going in the general direction that they led?
You're looking for signs.
We're looking.
You're not necessarily following tracks. You're tracking in general.
Got it. Okay, so apart from this encounter with orcs that gives us the general idea that we're going in the right direction, we walk into the woods for quite a while and we seem to not be finding any clues. How's that for an obstacle?
So the obstacle is being more or less lost? Yes.
Right.
Okay. So, all right, with that in mind, Michael, how does Veterinax get you past the problem of being lost?
We're being lost. Well, I've wandered all over the Empire, so I'm used to, kind of looking at, keep an eye on the sun for like 15 minutes or so, see what direction it's going, to get an idea of, okay, that's north. We're wanting to go, in this case, what, like east, northeast. We should be heading that way. So I'm going to use the sun's movement to try to figure out what direction we're actually going in, not what we think we're going in.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a background check.
Okay.
Plus wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. So let's see.
Unless you can justify intelligence.
No, I think wisdom. I'm more wise than I am smart. So that's 2 for that, 2 for level, and I have 3 for my all over the Empire. So that's +7. 21.
All right. So after a little while of kind of taking measurements, looking at the sky, climbing maybe up a tree or two to get a better look at the sun, you're like, oh, yeah, we're going way too far west. We should be going farther to the south. And before too long, you find some more evidence that their orcs have been by this direction. You can't tell whether it's on the way or on the way back. But either way, it's a better sign than you had previously that you were on the right track. Okay. So, Michael, describe the final problem or obstacle that you face on the way to finding these orcs.
Okay, so let's see. As we're going along, there's a point where the trail crosses a stream. We cross over, and where we come up to is kind of a mud. We kind of burst through some bushes, and there's like a mud wallow, and there's some piglets wallowing, and the mother boar is also there.
All right. Steven.
Alrighty. Well, given my extensive experience, wandering through the Queenswood, not used to something as mundane as a pig that we have to deal with, but there are plenty of large woodland creatures we need to find our way to avoid. And I think we attempt to slowly back our way out and around, trying to keep clear of the immediate vicinity of the piglets, and hope that we don't spook them off.
Okay. All right. Roll me a background check. The most appropriate background check. Plus Dex.
Yeah, probably Dex. And again, I guess I'll go with the Queenswood Bandit is probably the best choice there.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so Dex is 3 and level is 2. That was close, or maybe not.
It was,
19.
It was easier than you thought. All right, so you back away very slowly, and thankfully this mother boar doesn't seem to have noticed you're there. Thankfully, you are downwind, because you think that if you'd been the other direction on the wind, she would have smelled you and come charging.
Yeah.
But before the wind shifts, and before you slip down into the hollow, you're able to get away and veer wide around what would be a rather unpleasant encounter. So, all right.
Excellent.
All right. So before too long, after going around, you're noticing more and more signs that there are orcs around, or that orcs have been around. It looks like they've been chopping at the trees just willy-nilly. The mud has been churned up. The grass and the other ground plants have been stomped all over. It's very clear you're getting closer. If that weren't enough, you can start to hear orc speech coming from the direction in front of you, along with the smell of smoke. It sounds like that they're not particularly interested in keeping a watch or keeping guard, because as you get closer, you don't see any sentries, you don't see any patrols, you don't see anything like that. It looks like they've made camp in an opening in the trees, pretty wide opening at that, big enough for all of them to be in the clearing at the same time.
How many do there seem to be?
That's a damn good question. Hang on here. It's less than 10. It's hard to tell unless you get closer, but it doesn't seem to be more than 10 of them.
Do we see the prisoners?
Again, not unless you get closer.
Okay.
Well, perhaps sneaking a bit closer to. So how far back are we from the clearing? Are we going to have to enter the clearing to get closer?
You're probably a good 7,500 yards away. You're not terribly close to them right now.
So it is possible that someone could scout ahead while still keeping in the cover of the trees to get a better look at where we are and perhaps see if we can see where the prisoners might be.
Yeah, it should be possible.
Okay. Well, I think Finbull is probably a good person to try to do that.
Yep.
Being of a sneaky sort.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a background check. Add +5 to it. You guys have come from the right direction to really catch them off guard. I mean, even though they haven't really set up any kind of perimeter, you've come from the direction that they're least paying attention to.
So, I think I'm going to keep it. It's going to be Dex again, I imagine, right? And level.
Dex.
and bandit, and an extra 5, right? So same rolls I had previously plus 5 because they're not expecting it.
Right.
28.
28, yes. You can sneak up there with no problem whatsoever.
All right. So, what is it that I happen to see while I'm up there?
All right. You see that they have a big bonfire in the center of the area. It looks like, yeah, you roll high enough. Yeah, there are definitely less than 10. A quick count shows that there are actually probably closer to 7 of them, and there are 3. There are 3 prisoners. They looks like they have been stripped naked. They are still tied up, and there is a conspicuously empty spit above the bonfire. It takes a lot to figure out what is probably in mind.
I see.
Meat's back on the menu?
Yes.
Exactly. All right. Are there any of how they're stripped naked? Are they bound? Are they being closely hooded by some of them?
They are bound. It looks like they're not. It looks like they're not really conscious. Whether it just be from the shock or actually physically unconscious, they're not really there. So not so much there. But they are physically bound. They're bound with like a rough hempen rope.
Okay.
And they're kept pretty close to the what's it called?
The bonfire? The cooking
Bonfire,
fire?
yes, thank you.
Which is in the center of the clearing, and I imagine it's orcs between us and them.
Yes. It doesn't really matter how sneaky you are, you're not getting to the prisoners without being done.
All right. I will stealthily make my way. Well, actually, anything stand out about any of the orcs? Or they mostly look to be sort of warrior types, or there seem to be any sort of shaman-y types there? Just see if I can come up with any sort of
type. Mostly warrior types. You see a couple with bows, but for the most part, they look like they're more the type to get up in your face and pull your arm off and beat you to death with it.
Okay. They can try at least. All right. I think Finbo will stealthily make his way back to his companions and let him know the lay of the land. What do you guys think we should do? Other than, fight them.
Yeah. Well, can our sorcerer, do you have anything that's kind of long range and affects multiple people?
Long range I can do. Multiples less so. I have one trick up my sleeve, but I can only do it once. If I get lucky, I can bounce a spell over a couple people.
Lightning fork, yeah.
Right. Well, also I can chain spells out of character, and I have Breath of the White Dragon, which is a daily.
Well, I think lightning fork, is your only chain spell. Continuing with the out of character business.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yep.
So,
you're right.
Yeah. I think it's the only type there.
Right. I missed that it has to be a chain spell to chain it.
Yeah.
And yeah, lightning fork is the only one with chain. Okay. So yeah, 2 spells that I could possibly fling upon them. I'm also willing to give talking to them a chance.
Talking to them? All right.
I could charm one of them.
What's your halfling's name? Finbull would know that Hallister doesn't mind trying to talk his way out of things before they get too messy.
Yes.
And I can charm someone, maybe.
That would be an interesting take on this.
I mean, that could maybe you can get information from them.
Wonder if there was someone who was the leader.
I don't know that I could charm the leader, but we could find out who to keep. We could find out like who to keep an eye on. Who are the people we need to be worried about?
I wonder how easily you could sneak up to where I was, charm somebody into needing to take a leak or something out in the woods, and see what we can do to question him. If we could even talk to them. Anyone know Orcish?
No.
Ew, no.
And I can't like make them want to come out in the woods. I think that makes them friendly. So if I could get someone where other ones wouldn't hear me, I could probably at that point call them over or something. But I can't, implant a suggestion in his head.
Yes. Yeah. So
mentally.
I'm not sure how well the talking's going to go if we don't have a common language with them. Now,
they might speak common or.
Yeah, this is.
We spend like a minute or two listening, eavesdropping, and see if any common slips into their banter.
Yeah, I can say that there's some common, but it's words here and there. It's not even really Pidgin common. It's definitely Orc predominantly.
Fair enough.
Are they going to, even if we talk to them, what on earth are we going to offer them in exchange for dinner?
Yeah.
Are letting them go.
They do outnumber us. So how effective is that going to be? We could give them your eye.
I think if we walk up there, with a gnome, a halfling, and an elf, I think they're going to think we're snacks to get tossed on. I'm just not sure how successful that's going to be. Plus, we may give away our advantage here because they don't know we're here right now.
Nope.
I'm more inclined to say let's hit them with our range stuff and then run in. Take them by surprise. I can do sound burst. You can try your chain lightning, and then we run in before they do something to the prisoners.
Not my plan A usually, but in this case, it might be wise.
Yeah. I could.
Oh no, the DM's rolling.
Uh-oh.
By all means, continue.
I get concerned about things like that, and hopefully we're carrying this conversation, on far enough away from them and in low enough tones that we're not.
Given the way that they're carrying on, you will hear them long before they see you or get into a position to see you.
Okay.
They're pretty much carrying on. They're celebrating. I mean, that's the only way that you can put it. Is they're laughing, they're joking, they're yelling. I mean, you can't, if you're not speaking Orc, you can't tell exactly what they're saying. But it's not terribly difficult to kind of suss out the sorts of things they're saying, bragging about what the fighting, about how they're going to eat prisoners. It's not a tremendous stretch of the imagination to make some educated guesses on what they could be doing, given that they seem to be partying.
Okay.
God damn.
Are you just playing? Are you just playing with dice?
No.
Are we?
I'm rolling first, but I am rolling for a reason. You will understand when we get to it.
He's rolling. He's rolling hit points.
No.
I'm
I'm rolling to see how many orcs there really are.
Oh, good. We're only outnumbered
82 so far.
we're only outnumbered exponentially, so that's not a problem.
Just won the Silver Ennie for best rules.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would be a very poor employee if I did not mention that on hand.
Who just won? 13 Age just won the silver?
Silver Age won the Golden Ennie for best rules. It looks like Fate won
Gold.
Fate won gold.
Fate won gold, 13 Age won silver. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I guess I suggest we sneak up a bit, and then
Yeah.
launch our spells.
No, I'm part of me's trying to decide whether I should get a little risky and shadow walk my way in next to one of them from places where they won't have been able to see me, and then double damage strike them. But that's also going to put me right in the midst of it with you guys at a distance, and I don't know that that's the best plan.
Well, I mean, my spells, even my range spells, are only nearby enemies, so I'm not going to be that far out. So I'm going to do one and then run in, because at that point it's going to be kind of close up for me anyway.
Yeah,
So
all of my stuff is
alone
nearby.
up there for long. But we'll be scattered around probably, I would suspect.
Okay.
I'll leave you guys to the map, and you can decide where you're going to be at.
Okay.
So right now, you guys are in the southwest corner of the map.
All right. How do I get this
Okay.
thing to scroll? There we go.
Yeah, it's got
Scrolling.
scroll bars.
And so the prisoners are just kind of lying right next to the big fire there.
Yes.
Okay.
What the hell are you doing, Tommy? There we go. What the hell?
The fire looks like it has eyes in it. That disturbs me.
Yeah. So are the gray things big rocks?
That's what it looks like.
Yes.
Okay. So we could maybe sneak up, the two of us that'll be doing magic could maybe sneak up to the big rock and then pop out either side and cast our spells. And our rogue could shadow walk somewhere, off to the side.
So the downside of the shadow walking is that puts me out of play for a turn.
Hmm.
So I would be shadow walking while you guys attacked, and I would reappear at the beginning of the next round.
Right, so if we attack, they'll presumably shift towards us, and then you appear behind them. That might not be bad. They won't expect you back there.
Well, hopefully orcs don't have a high MD to begin with, so they shouldn't be expecting me.
Yeah, well, hopefully we won't roll ones on our attacks either, right? So.
Our roll 20 is actually very weird. Hold on a second. Maybe that one?
Whoa.
Oh, on the map. There we go.
Alrighty.
I don't know,
So,
it's weird.
roll initiative.
For a crazy.
Actually, first, before we do that, Fimble, how many hit points do you have? I'm not attacking you, I'm just filling in your token. So, Findle,
Oh, yes, sorry, Finball. 24. Not many. Though I think we're only at 28 for the other two as well.
I'm thinking so, yeah.
Yeah, 28 and 28 for the other two.
Before we do anything else, make sure you guys can move around your tokens. You can move them out of cover. That's okay. Make sure that you can adjust the hit points up and down.
Yep.
For purposes of the demo, you don't have your recoveries offered there because they don't really matter so much.
Yep. I'm good.
Got it.
Ah, there we go.
So,
All right.
hang on, I'm figuring out up and down.
To change your hit points up and down, if you click it once, you should see a number. You should see 3 bubbles, 3 circles above. The green is your hit points.
Okay, so the red, these are other things we don't care about.
Yes. If the blue would be recoveries and red would be character dependent. It would
Okay.
be like momentum or that sort of thing.
Okay. Which I'll have, so that's okay. Assuming I hit it.
Let me actually put that up there then, because right now I can't see them on it. So, and just do it binary 1-0.
Okay. So I've got 0 momentum right now.
Right now, yes. Right now you have 0 out of 1.
Okay. Okay.
All
I
right,
seem
so
to be
now,
able...
now the mechanical bits have been done. All right, what do you guys want to do now? What are you going to do? Not what you want to do. What are you going to do?
So when do you have to cast Shadow Walk? Would you want to do that before we did our spells, or cast it after we did and pop it in the round later?
I do it the same round, everything starts, I shadow walk, your spells go off, and then at my initiative, the next round, I reappear anywhere I could have gotten to and get double damage on my first attack.
Okay. Well, I guess I'd recommend we roll initiative and just start our spells. I think I'm going to focus on the west side, the Orc Archer and Raiders.
For planning purposes, what qualifies as nearby and what qualifies as in a group?
I think everyone's nearby, right?
No, not everybody is nearby.
Oh, okay.
Basically, for where you guys are at right now, and if you decide you want to be on a different side of this clearing, let me know. That was just where I decided to start here. For purposes of this, the Orc Raider 1, 2, and 5 are nearby, as is Orc Archer 2. The others are far away.
Noted. And how about for in a group?
In a group, they since this has grid on it anyway, anything that's closer than 5 to the point of origin.
Okay.
So, Orc Raider 1, Orc Archer 2, and Orc Raider 3 would be a group, for example.
Okay. Thank you.
Great.
Are we concerned about them killing the captives while we're attacking? Probably not.
I don't think so.
As long as we don't make it clear that's what we're here for, hopefully they won't realize that.
Okay.
I mean, they'll probably be more focused on capturing us, right?
That's what I thought. Look, more dinner. Alrighty.
Initiative time.
All right, go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay.
Does initiative does not get level, right? Just
Yes, I think it does.
It does.
okay.
It's Dex plus
17.
level. Oops.
Ooh.
Guess who's going
Dude,
last? This guy.
well done. Here we go.
Hang on.
Well, to be fair, I think we're fighting for last with one of my monsters that rolled a 1. So good job.
All right. Long distance high five to that monster. Good job.
23 for Finball.
Wow.
And yet you're still not going first.
There was a 26 in there? Orc Archer.
5 in there.
Yep. Got a keen-eyed Orc Archer, apparently.
All right.
But they don't know we're here, right?
They do not know you're here. They do not at this point know you're here. Actually, you know, that's a good point. All of you roll stealth checks. Add a +5.
Okay.
So let's see if you balls it up. You got in to scout fine.
Yeah.
So D20 plus 5.
Yeah, D20 plus.
Plus your
It doesn't
level.
matter with 5. No, it's like any other background check. It's D20 plus level, plus background, plus ability.
Phew.
Wow.
Plus
There we go.
Can he
Crit
just
on the
carry?
spell.
Can he just carry the other two of us?
No, I'm afraid not.
I'm going to use my former gang member background. Stuck around there.
Okay.
21.
4
So,
plus.
Thimble and Veteran Axe, you are totally okay.
Hang on.
Unfortunately,
I didn't realize what I was
That's
doing.
Draco's initiative.
So
no.
background plus dex plus level. So actually plus 7. Hang on.
Plus 5.
What?
Okay, that's a
Then
little bit.
and then plus another 5. So 24 then.
Okay.
Okay, that's
We are quiet as mice.
You're all three relatively quiet,
Okay.
so they do not notice you.
Nice.
Okay. So,
I think you're.
I guess I am shadow walking. That requires me to do a +5 versus MD roll.
Yep.
As a move action. So, the weird thing is if I fail this, how am I even going to know? Because normally you would do
fail,
this.
it doesn't work.
If you fail, it doesn't work.
Their eyes are tracking you as you move.
Well, but they don't even know I'm here right now. So it's kind of odd to do this roll, but I will do the roll.
It's a magical effect. You're basically you're stepping outside normal reality. So something about these orcs, if you fail, is keeping you grounded in reality.
Okay. So +5 versus MD, right? So I'm not adding my level to that. That should already be built in, I believe, to this.
It should be. So yes,
roll.
D20 +5.
D20 +5.
It's against the highest MD nearby, right?
Against the highest, yes.
Okay.
Charisma
go
plus
for it.
level. Okay, got it. No, really not so much.
You have failed entirely.
All right. So I step out from behind the rock, and they sort of see me there, and I can see that they see me there. So.
All right. Move your character out from behind the rock.
So let's move me sort of there. I guess given that it didn't work, I could, throw a dagger at somebody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, if I moved and it failed, I guess I got to look at how this works. I didn't disappear, and I've used my move turn. Okay. So I can't get any closer to them to do a normal thing. So I'll go ahead and use my flying blade to toss one of my throwing knives. +5 versus AC at, why not? Orc Raider 2 looks ugly.
Okay.
So, again, it's going to be D20 +5. 16 versus AC. I'm guessing my...
16 versus AC.
Yeah. I guess it's a miss.
All right, that is the escalation die. It is a 0. Or more specifically, it is a frowning face.
It is.
Right,
it is.
So
void.
do you do damage on a miss?
I do. I do 2 points of damage on a miss.
Okay.
Now, why couldn't I have had my stealth crit here?
Because
The dice.
for the same reason that I wasted a natural 20 rolling initiative.
Excellent.
All right. So you have stepped out from around the corner and throw your dagger at one of the orcs, and just barely grazed him, just enough to draw blood, and a terrible, terrible silence comes across the clearing as the orcs realize that somebody has come out to play, and then almost as one, a scream of battle joy goes up from their throats, and you are now under attack.
Excellent.
The orc archer was surprised by you stepping out, but he recovered very quickly, and he is going to loose an arrow from his bow at you. This is going to be versus AC.
16.
And 21 versus AC. Alright, so you will take 7 damage.
Alrighty then.
Alright, so Orc Raider 5 is far away, so he can reach you but not attack you. And he will
Isn't that 3?
What's that?
Aren't you moving Orc Raider 3?
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yes, you
5 is nearby.
No, 5 can get you an attack. I'm not sure you've helped your cause there. So he will charge in and he will swing this jagged and rusty sword at you, screaming at the top of his lung. This is also going to be versus AC. You said your AC was 16?
Armor class is 16.
Alright, so you will take 6 damage. And he pops free.
Right.
So he runs in, swings his blade, puts a huge gouge in your ribs, and while you're still reeling from the attack, he backs off, and it looks like he's preparing to charge in again. But first, it is Vetranax. You're up.
Okay. I'll move around to here. To here. And then I'm going to cast Sound Burst on this group, the ones that are nearby there. So, do I roll? Do I roll the hit first, or do I roll the number of people I can affect first?
No. Roll the number of people and then roll.
Okay. 1. I'll hold it. Bummer. Okay. I'll go for the archer.
Orc Archer 1?
Orc Archer 2, because that's the one that you said was nearby.
Yes, okay.
Okay. What's my
Can the archers shoot far away or only nearby?
They can only shoot nearby.
Okay.
Okay, let's see how we do. Oh, I rolled just as bad as you did. Okay,
yeah.
well, however, on a miss, it does half damage.
Alright, roll your damage.
Okay, so that's... I don't know how to divide it by 2, so that'd be 10 then. 10 points.
Or 9. I'm not sure if it... Does it round down?
8 or 9, yeah, 9 or 10.
It's it's up to the GM. It's not stated specifically. I tend to round up. So
Okay.
in this case.
And that's it for me.
All right. The Orc Raiders finding a plentiful variety of.
Yeah, the little guys moved up first.
Yeah. 3 can reach you, not attack.
Okay.
1. And 4 can reach you, not attack. So you're each getting attacked once. First, we will go on Vetranax.
Okay.
It is going to be again versus AC. Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be 6 damage, and he pops free. Orc Raider 3 is far away, so he couldn't. Orc Raider 1 was close. Alright, so now on Thimble. That will probably miss, I imagine.
Yes, that'll miss. Thank you for small favors.
Actually, that 19 should have been a crit, but I rolled, so I don't get to go back and change that. Alright. Orc Archer 1 is going to move over here and take a shot at Vetranax.
Okay.
13 versus AC.
That's a miss.
Alright.
Nice.
Okay. Alright. Alistair, you're up.
All right. So I think I'm going to try to do the. I'm just going to go ahead and do the daily since we have kind of a nice little cluster of the raiders up here, all up on one of my buddies here. Yeah, up on Thimble. Can I climb on top of the rock?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I will do that. I was gonna try to gather power, but it seems like we've already engaged. So let's just go ahead and do that. So I will move up here, look down at the orcs, grin at them, and let's see. Attack is 5 versus +5 versus physical defense.
Don't
So,
you figure how many
that?
targets?
It is.
1 or 2 targets?
It's okay. Yeah, it's 1d4 divided by 2 targets in a nearby group.
Okay.
So. Wait, what? Nope. Hang on. Oh, why did it do +2? Just do d4. There. Okay.
All right.
So I guess
one target.
One target. Womp womp. All right. So +5 versus d20 +5. Do I add anything else to that?
Nope.
Versus
Okay.
physical defense, usually not now.
Okay.
Nice.
21 will hit.
Sweet.
On your damage.
Damage is 3d6 +1 cold. 3d6 +1. Roll. Wait.
Wow.
That.
Kaboom.
That's a hell of a damage roll. All right, so
That's a lot of D6 too.
Did
you're getting more raiders than you thought. All right, which one were you attacking first?
I go correctly? One of the ones that's actually on Thimble.
All right, so I will do. We'll do raider one. Let's see, what is that? All right, describe how Raider 1, Raider 4, and Raider 2 all die.
Hey, mooks.
Yes, indeed, they are mooks. Think
Awesome.
minions from 4th edition, except more hit points and a shared hit point pool.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, Halster scrambles up, grins at him, and lays into him with his cold breath weapon that flies over Thimble's head. Because Thimble's a halfling, appropriately.
Because I'm short and you're already on a rock.
That's right.
True.
Yeah, it's not terribly difficult to manage.
Nice.
Wow. Excellent.
Wait a minute.
At least one of us is effective.
I just noticed a slight problem.
Uh-oh.
See, you said roll 3d6 +1.
Yeah, it did the exploding. That's why I rolled it again. I wasn't sure if that was.
So it was really
Okay,
nice.
yes,
It should have been 9.
that makes a slight
Yeah.
difference. By a slight difference, I mean a 22.
Well, but if
Um,
you, okay.
if you'd gathered power, that would have been fine.
Right.
So let me see.
Yeah, I realized that I was experimenting with the exploding feature earlier, and I forgot to turn that off.
You still do kill
My bad.
one of them, though. Let's see.
Okay, so that is epically awesome, but still, and I can reuse that for the rest of the battle if I roll a 16 or higher at the start of my turn on a d20.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So that's cool.
All right, anything else from Alistair?
Are there 2 dead or just the one?
Just one. I forgot to undo the other dead one.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can do?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think it really is. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, good.
Next. Top of round 2. The escalation die is at 1. Thimble, you are up.
All right. I think, as I have no momentum, definitely need some momentum. I am going to use Tumble Strike, which gives me a +5 bonus to all disengaged checks this turn. I'm already engaged with this enemy, so I'm going to go ahead and attack Raider 4, and then use a quick action to disengage from it, which is part of the Tumble Strike at will.
Yep,
So
that's fine.
it is +5 versus AC again. And hopefully I'll actually roll something decent this time. God damn it.
No.
No, really,
No.
really not. All right, so
That was an epic fail. In
Yes. Fumble.
in my home games, I would now make you decide to attack whether you lost your dagger or you attacked on accident Hallister. I'm feeling benevolent, so I will not.
All right. I'm going to roll. I don't actually know why I should bother rolling, but I'm going to roll anyway. My quick action disengage check. Because I've got a +10 to disengage.
You can't fail that.
Oh,
Even though you tried.
Roll one. No, on a one is still a failure.
One's
still
always a failure. Okay.
One is still a failure.
Wow.
All right, so I have
The only thing you could have rolled and failed that.
yes, the only thing I could have rolled to fail that. So
Hallister is standing on his rock and shaking his head.
classically inept. I talk a good story. I mean, I say I was a bandit.
I keep
And,
forgetting.
yeah, you've been talking up your bandit.
Let's see. There's Fimble's one of shame.
I get it twice now.
Hallister got a one of shame earlier for his initiative.
Yeah.
Then here is the other one of shame for the disengaged check.
Even the escalation die wouldn't have helped with that.
Nope.
All right,
You still can move. You'll just get an opportunity attack, or you can stay where you are and make your regular attacks.
well, I actually still have a move action. I could try disengaging again because that was a quick action disengage as part of the strike. Yes, no.
Let me look at that. Because I'm not sure you can try to disengage more than once per turn.
Normally, it eats your move action. The disengage check would eat your move action, but this was a quick action from the strike. So I can go either way on it.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get clear. So we'll
Roll another one.
it is certainly possible.
I'm certainly open for it.
I was like, fall back, fall back.
No, I got it this time.
It's
There
two
we go.
ones. Thankfully,
There we go.
they're consecutive.
So I am going to. This is me. Where am I? Oh, there I am. With
We're in
my
the middle of
roll
all
of
those
shame.
ones.
I'm going to.
Over by the fire or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there-ish.
All right. For informational purposes, the prisoners are right around there.
Okay. Alrighty. And I think I am so done with my turn.
Okay. Well, Orc Archer 2, you moved closer and gave him a better target, so he's going to shoot at you.
Excellent.
This is going to be versus AC. That will hit.
Ouch.
I am going to use my evasive skill. Once per battle, I can force an enemy that hits me to re-roll the attack at a -2 penalty.
Alright.
I think it's about time to use that.
We are on dodge.
So you managed to dodge the arrow this time.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, you're not going to dodge the orc running at you.
Yes, that will.
He still might miss you, but you're not going to get out of the way. And he will hit.
Yes.
6 damage. And he pops.
Another 6?
Yes.
Okay.
Vetranax, you're up.
Okay, so I'm going to start with what I should have done last turn. As a quick action, I'm going to bless all of us. We all get a +1 to attack now.
Sweet.
And I'm going to do a flexible melee attack on Orc Raider 3.
Gonna try to get me some healing, huh?
Yep.
But you're going to attack, and then we'll see what the flex
Yeah,
is.
but it's flexible as opposed to one of the other options. So,
Yeah.
22.
22 will hit.
Yep, and so I'll do pull it together. So I'll call out to help out Finball, and you can use recovery plus an additional 1d4.
All right.
And in the meantime, I will do 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Nicely done.
All right. Describe how you have killed him.
So I pull out my short sword, and I run it through his stomach, and then I twist it, and he goes down.
Okay. That'll work.
I wonder if this will work. Roll 2d8 plus 1d4.
Yes, that will work. Or at least if the syntax is correct, it will work.
With your dice luck, I know.
7. Good God.
That's not what one might call a really good recovery roll.
I almost should have asked if you let us take averages the way I've been rolling, but it is too late now.
Yes, it is. Anything else for Veteranax?
Yeah. I think I'm going to move up to the Orc Archer.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to engage him?
I'm going to engage him.
Okay.
So at least he can't shoot at Finball that way.
Alright. Well, he can still disengage too. But
Okay.
we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. In the meantime, Orc Raider 2, he's like, you ain't getting away. Hell no. Orc Raider 4 is going to climb up with a rock and duel with the Dark Elf. First against Veteranax.
What? No, this is my rock. Get off.
That will hit, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it will.
That is 6 damage.
6,
and,
okay.
And he pops free. So these guys are dancing in, smacking you, and then dancing right back away.
Okay.
Now on Hallister.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That will also be 6 damage. And you will also...
Okay. And he can suck 6 as my ghost counterattacks him.
Okay.
Is that going to kill him?
Nope. No, it will not. Alright. And then Orc Archer 1. I think the Orc Archer 1, yeah, he's going to try to disengage.
So it is 8 damage, right?
What's that?
8 damage?
6 damage.
6 damage. Alright. Alright, cool.
Alright, Orc Archer 1 will disengage, and then he will shoot the gnome that has the temerity to run up right in his face. Or at least he will if I have the right modifier. Yes.
Ooh.
That will hit. And that is another 7 damage.
These archers hurt.
You don't know that, do it?
That's
Alright. Alistair, you're up.
Alright. So let me do my D20 and see if the thing recharges. No! It does the opposite of recharge. Let me see if I... Oh, no, okay. Something else.
The second one of shame.
The dice
There's
are not
quite a
behind this.
collection of ones of shame that have come up. It's impressive and not in a good way.
Okay, we'll fork that guy, is what we're going to do. Fork him. And we're going to hope that it maybe bounces onto his little friend over there also.
Okay.
So, lightning fork on... Which one is that? 4?
The bottom one is 4.
4? Yeah, okay. So lightning fork on him, and if it bounces, it'll go to the one just north of him.
Okay.
So that's +5 versus his PD.
Don't forget the escalation die and the blast.
How does that work?
+1 for the die and +1 for the bless.
Okay. So that's +7. Hold your breath. Hey!
Alright. 20 will hit.
I rolled even, so it does not chain.
That's a natural odd.
That's an odd.
You rolled odd.
Yeah.
Right,
It's It's not the final result.
Right, yeah, I said it does not change.
That's fine, yes.
Okay.
However, it still does 3d6 plus 1 lightning damage to him. D6 plus 1, roll 7 damage to him.
All right, that does kill him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one was that?
4 down at the bottom there.
4 is dead.
All right. So describe how you have killed him.
Hallister wheels as the guy dashes off the rock, glares at him, does his little hack as he tries to attempt another breath of the white dragon, shakes his head, just points directly at him, and lightning arcs off his finger and zots him in the face.
I can just see that annoyed that it doesn't come. It's like, ah.
Totally.
Okay. Let's see. Where the hell are we? All right. Anything else?
Nope. Good.
You roll your. No, you did. Okay. So, with that being done, top of round 3, the escalation die is at 2, and Fimble, you're up.
Okie dokie. Well, I think. Let's see what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to. Just going to go in and head in and do an evasive strike. I'm going to go ahead and move next to Archer 2, who's at least taken some damage, and I'm going to do an evasive strike at him. Lights are turning off here. It's about time that lights automatically get turned off. So it is +7, d20 plus, actually +8, because 1 for blast and 2 for the escalation die.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hitting anything.
Still not enough.
It is
Someday the bonus will be enough. You'll hit even with the 3.
No, because then I'll roll another one of shame. Alrighty then, and that's a move. I don't have anything I can do for a quick action this turn, so I'm just gonna suck it.
All right. Well, he's going to try and chop your face off because you got right in his face. Unfortunately, he didn't roll much better than you did.
Oh, look, he got a die of shame.
He does. No, I don't think he's that. Okay. All right. Orc Raider 5. Where the hell are you? You're over here.
Got 2 ways he could go.
He's going to go after the Dark Elf.
What did I do?
That didn't go so well for the last one that did that.
He still carved a good chunk out of the. Whoops. And that doesn't matter. I didn't need to even add the modifier.
It's crit.
It's a crit.
It's lots, is what the hit. That will be 12 damage.
Ow. Is there anything I can do against that? No, I get it. All right.
And he pops 3.
We'll eat all of it.
Wow.
Okay.
Pain. This is what pain feels like.
Lots of pain. And I might remind the party that there are healing potions there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Vetranax, you are now up.
Yep.
So he's definitely got a healing potion.
I have
don't
one.
know if I do.
So if I move to like engage with the archer, would I be nearby with either of my compatriots?
Yes, you would still be nearby.
Okay. So I'll move here and engage the archer, and I can do a flexible attack on him. So at this point, it's +8. Wow.
14 will miss.
And I can't do the healing. And I missed. None of these will work. So I guess I do 2 points for my missed damage.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Let's see. Do I have to kill any of these? Operator 2, where are you? Oh, you are still alive.
Yep. I ran away from him.
Yes. Well, he kind of bounced away from you, and then you just kind of keep running. He's going to attack you, and he will miss.
Yep.
All right. Orc Archer 1 is engaged with you. He will try to spit you, and you will.
Ouchie.
For 6 damage.
6. Okay. 6 points. Well, I'll take it.
And lastly, we have Hallister. And since I don't know if you're terribly familiar, Draco, you can basically use a second wind called a rally, and you can spend a healing surge, or a recovery, excuse me. But it's a standard action, and you don't get a bonus to defenses for it.
Okay.
But at least you get some healing.
What's the potion quaffing? Is that a standard action?
Potion is also a standard action. It's better than rallying because you get an additional D8 for using a potion.
Okay. Hallister is clutching the gaping wound on his chest, and fumbling for that potion with the other hand.
Hang on.
Okay.
I hate to ask you to do this. Roll for your breath weapon.
Yeah, get the one out of the way first.
Hey.
Oh!
Well, they recharged at least, so there's that.
Yeah, you're still better off healing yourself. Otherwise, you're going to go down.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get what we have remaining killed.
Yeah, I could maybe take out one more, but yeah.
I might be able to heal you next turn if I'm lucky.
I'll.
No, you should heal.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he'll fumble for the potion and pop it, and regret having to do so as he feels the weapon recharge as he chugs it down.
It's
instead.
a weird. You said your breath weapon was cold, so
Yeah.
it's a weird hot and cold sensation.
It's a refreshing drink.
It's like a hot minced tea. It's got that kind
Nice.
of hot and
Soothing.
cold.
All right. So what do I roll for the potion?
You roll your recovery, which should be on your character sheet,
Right.
and
2d6
you will
plus
add
1.
8d8 to that.
Okay. So here's the 2d6 and a d8. So nice.
Oh, there you go.
So I get
So
13 back.
Nice.
Awesome. This way it's a 15. I'll take it. And I guess that's my turn.
Pretty much. All right. Top of round 3. Top of round 4. The escalation power is at 3. And Thimble, you're up.
All right. So, how many ways can we? How many times can we fail? Attempt to skewer the archer in front of me again. I will again use evasive strike. I mean, it's about what I've got. D20 plus 4, 5 plus 9. Wow, maybe I finally hit him.
You just barely hit him.
Oh, God. All right, 2d8 plus 3 damage. But he's not engaged with anyone, so I cannot sneak attack him. Well, 16 points of damage.
Considering he is now almost dead, he is staggered.
Okay. I also now have momentum, which I will move to 1, which is important. And I'm trying to decide, evasive strike, if I hit, lets me pop free But I think I will not. I think I will stay engaged so he doesn't get a free pot shot at somebody.
Okay. You might not be thankful about that here in a second, because he is, not because he's staggered, but because the fight has been going on so long. It seems that he's really getting into the rhythm of the fight.
All right, he gets to use the escalation die this round?
He actually gets a +3 on his attacks and damage now.
Ooh.
Well, he would have just engaged with me anyway.
He might have just shot you. And if he'd shot you, you wouldn't get the bonus. But
Well, now I know.
now you know. And unfortunately, sometimes knowledge is painful.
Yes.
So you 9 damage.
I'm going to use roll with it because I have momentum. That's a melee attack. Targets AC or PD hits me.
Yes.
I only take half damage from it.
Right. So you will take 5 from that.
I will take 5, which is one of the reasons why I stayed in close because I actually had the momentum to use that.
All right. That's him. Operator 5. Where the hell are you?
He's gonna come either. Well, I don't know. There you go.
You probably restore your health on your token there, Draco.
I thought I did.
Nope.
My
Yeah,
bad.
you did. I think you did, but then it went away. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, he runs back in and is attacking, and will hit for 6 damage, and he pops free again. This time we'll pop free over here because he can.
Why not?
Exactly. Because I, as the GM, say so. Because I need something.
It's like a comedy up in here, like chug, 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 stab. Oh man, again? Seriously?
All right. With his turn done, Vetronax, you're up.
Okay,
He's sort of scared
will
by-
I will try a flexible attack again, see if I can get some healing in on someone.
Well away.
Is that a
Now
17
the
versus
natural.
Alphas?
Which one are you attacking? The archer or the?
I'm attacking.
raider?
I'm going to attack the raider. Actually.
That's a good
I-
choice because you hit the raider. You would not hit the archer.
Okay. None of these are useful, so I guess I'm just doing damage. Seven points.
Let's see.
Pretty poor.
It's enough. Describe how he dies.
Nice. So I'm low down, so I just kind of reach out and I hamstring him, and he goes down, clutching his leg.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, and I'm going to try to disengage.
Roll it.
I guess not.
Oh, now he gets a
And-
dive shame.
And now it's your dive shame.
And I'll stay where I'm at.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Orc Raider 2 is now dead, and I can take him off the turn order. Orc Archer 1, however, is not dead and is going to try and carve you into roast.
Stab at thee from the
Uh,
underbelly.
It appears he will. 9 damage. He
gonna
takes
hurt.
a nice slice off the flank.
How much was that?
9.
9.
Are you
Ouch.
down?
I have 1 hit point left.
I think rallying might be the proper
Yeah.
thing to
Well,
do.
I was trying to decide whether I should rally or heal someone else. I thought I'd try to heal one of you, but this next turn,
There's always that other potion also.
yeah, I'll be drinking the potion, not rallying.
All right, Hallister, you're up.
All right. Well, I can't frack that guy, but I can see if my breath weapon recharges. It does.
Oh, sweet.
So he gets hacked again. Gives him like a seriously evil glare and grins as he feels the breath weapon recharge, and will try to. So it's do I still get the extra +1? I get the +1 from the blast and the.
Find out how many targets, and can you hit Orc Archer 2?
Ooh, I don't
You
know
will
if
only-
they're.
Checking for targets doesn't matter. You're not close enough to hit more than one of it, regardless of who you target.
That's kind of what I figured.
But can he target everybody?
They have to be in a group.
Well, but are they all nearby?
They have to be within 5 of the. Two.
They're not. They're too far apart
No.
from each other. So
Yeah, I can only get the one guy.
just pick one.
But
He can pick one. He can pick one. He can attack any of them, but he
That's
won't.
what I was trying to get.
Yes.
Why don't you try for the... Well, I guess the Orc Archer's almost dead. I hope I could kill him. Yeah, kill somebody.
You're my archer or Raider 5.
That's what I'm planning on. All right, so... but
Orc Archer 1 has got lots of it.
do I still get the
He's
plus
only
1 from the escalation die, or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
Plus
you-
3.
Yes.
Plus 3.
It's a big
Okay,
3 there.
so plus 3, so... And plus the bless, so it's plus 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. All right, so 1d20 plus 4 versus his physical. Oh wait, plus
Plus your other bonus.
Yeah, it's fine. You rolled a 17. When you add the other bonuses on, I think you'll be...
No, 17 with his breath weapon.
17 was the recharge. So I only rolled 11, unfortunately, to attack.
11, unfortunately, will miss.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you hit. You're attacking. That will miss. Does that do damage on a miss?
It does do half damage.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
Might be enough.
It could be.
6 plus 1.
And you were attacking the Raider or the Archer?
The Raider.
Okay.
Nice. 14 damage.
7.
So 7.
If you maxed it, you would have killed him. Barely.
Yeah, I still haven't used the gathered power yet.
It seems to happen a lot in this particular fight. Every fight I've run with this has had a sorcerer, and none of them have ever gathered power for a variety of reasons. But anyway, top of round 5, escalation die is at 4, and Fibble, you are up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jab my blade at this archer one last time.
Take him out.
Oh,
Focus
D20
one last time.
plus 5 plus 4 plus 1.
There we go.
Where we go. All right, 2d8 plus 3. 15.
You would have had to roll snake eyes not to kill him.
All
So,
right.
He's very capable of that.
I know. That's why I was waiting to see what the roll was before just declaring it dead.
All right.
So describe how he dies.
I'm sick of this guy, so I jab my blade in and remove his liver.
With surgical precision, no less.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you get more for the kidneys. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
You get more money for the kidneys, though.
Yes. Well, I can come back and
They're
get
still
those
in there.
later. So that was my standard action. I'm gonna go move myself right up next to Orc Archer 1.
Okay.
I'm going to engage Orc Archer 1. And I think that is it.
All right. Orc Raider 5, the last Orc Raider, wants to bring somebody down with him. Certainly going to try, anyway. 19 versus AC, I'm pretty sure will hit.
Just might do it.
And that is 6 damage. I'm not quite there, I know.
1. How many HP do you have left?
I think he has 2.
Run on near empty.
Draco? Oh, there you are. You just took 6 damage?
Oh. Ugh, okay. Oops.
All right, and with that, Vetrinax, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to drink my potion. That's an extra D8, right?
Yes, yes it is.
Get 15 back. Pretty good. And that was a standard. I'll stay engaged so that Finbul can take a sneak attack.
Okay.
So I'll add 15 on here.
All right. He did so well carving you to pieces last time. He's going to try again. Unfortunately, I don't think he will.
Yes.
I have disconcerted him.
Yeah.
I knew I was good for something this battle.
All right, Alistair, you're up.
All right, so this dude's all up in my face right here, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's just go ahead and Scorching Ray him. So that's 20.
Roll for your breath weapon?
Oh, yeah. Dude. Hey, recharged.
Sweet.
Let's do that again then. So roll that.
Even the miss damage. Even the miss damage.
Yeah, I'll take the miss damage. Okay, so miss damage is, so he takes 6.
All right.
It's cold in the face. Yeah.
Nice.
Cold in the face.
One guy left.
So very close. So very close. All right. Anything else for Alistair?
Nobody else around me. Can I still move?
Yes.
I will start heading over towards the captives. How far can I move?
Oh, yeah. You can get over. Yeah, probably right around there.
Sounds good to me. Done.
Okay. All right.
Dashes across the field of battle.
Escalation die is at 5. Fimble, you're up.
All right. I have momentum, and I can actually use my sneak attack this round. So I'm going to try a sure cut against the Orc Archer, which is, again, the D20. So roll D20 plus 5, plus 5, right? Plus 1.
That's all right.
22.
There we go.
That'll hit.
All right, so damage is going.
You went mute there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I
2d8.
couldn't tell if it was on my end or something. It's like he
Yeah.
stopped talking, and then I looked over, and still see his lips still.
His mouth's still
Sorry.
moving.
16 damage to the Orc Archer.
Nice.
Okay. He is staggered. All right. Anything else from Thimble?
No, I think I'm gonna. Well, actually, I am going to I'm going to disengage or attempt to disengage with my move action, seeing as I have few hit points.
Okay.
So I will roll to do that. D20 plus 5 for my tumble skill. And I am disengaged.
You are fine on the dice. Okay.
Now,
Veterinax, you're up.
Okay. Again, I'm going to do a flexible attack. And let's see. Plus 11. 25. That was a save effect. I will. Looks like Hallister needs more heal. Hallister, take a recovery plus 1d4.
Sweet.
And I will do some damage to this archer. 8 points to the archer.
Alright. He is gravely wounded, but still on his feet.
Ah,
And he is going to attempt to gravely wound you right back.
might do it.
Nope.
but not so much.
He's off his game now.
I finally decided to start rolling like you guys started the game.
Yeah. Well, we needed the escalation die be in the upper half before we were able to.
Clearly. All right, Hallister, you are.
So the recovery, it was a recovery plus what?
D4.
D4. Okay, thank you. I'll do that real quick. Doot. Of course, this. All right. Okay. So let's see who's still up. Is the orc archer still up?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Last one's still.
Breath weapon.
Nope, does not recharge. So I will Scorching Ray this dude, then see if I can set him on fire. So D20 plus 5 plus... The escalation dies at 5 now?
Yep.
So another 5, so plus 11.
Everybody's adding generally about 11.
Yeah. Crit.
Take it.
Wow.
Crit.
And that should be the end of him.
You finished up the fight in style, so go ahead and roll your damage. You will kill him either way. Just
And it's even, so he takes a D8 ongoing fire damage. Or his
Once he goes down, his bump's like it won't smell good.
That's right. So what is the D6 plus 1 fire damage? So 4 fire damage, so 8 fire damage.
really just 8?
That's it? It's just 1d6?
It's a D6 plus 1. Yep.
Wow. Well, I guess that's what my battle chant does. That's why.
Well, maybe he's
Yeah.
not dead.
No, he's still dead, if only just barely. So describe how you kill him.
All right. So in his dash over towards the prisoners, Hallister notices out of the corner of his eye that orc archer is still standing. Reaches out his hand, and flames leap from it and cover him from head to toe. And he goes down. Goes down in flames.
Yeah. It's very much a Vesuvius from Order of the Stick, just sort of walking by and pointing out Scorching Ray. It keeps on going.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Totally. And his corpse lays there, occasionally sparking and flaring up as the continued ongoing kicks in.
Probably get a reaction from the local fire from the crit, and sort of flares up as that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, so combat is over.
Alrighty.
Nice.
That was a near-win thing.
We were pretty squishy.
Skin
Yes.
of our proverbial team.
We were all a couple points from going down.
That's
It's
several
a
points,
testament,
yes.
though. You're lucky that you got the healing potions. I'm glad I put that in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that helped a lot.
And I think that maybe I might add that to the other demos just in case I get another group that's a squishy, because right now I think it's only half of them. Or it's dependent on rolling skill checks.
Mm-hmm.
So I might monkey with that a little bit. I might not either. And it is only a one shot. It's a demo. Sometimes things have to die.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Well, and if we would have rolled better at the first off, it would have been a lot different.
That's true. If you'd rolled better, because you guys rolled like absolute crap.
Yeah.
For a while.
Because my range, does 1 to 4 people, and it does 5d6 plus 3 damage. So I could have taken out a couple raiders
Right.
if I
Yeah.
rolled well.
My fumbles to begin both sets of rolls in the beginning, not helpful.
Yeah, there were a lot of ones. It has
Mhm.
I'm not sure it's the worst rolling I've ever seen, but it's probably top 3.
Wow.
Excellent.
What a privilege.
So well done in that respect. The dice wanted to kill you tonight.
Yep. In spite of our dice, we won. And yet, Roll20 got an award for trying to kill us.
Yeah, Roll20 is better about it, but there were a lot of ones tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
There were
regretting
a
not
few 20s, but not a ton.
breaking out my physical dice.
It might have helped. It might not have helped. Who knows?
Mhm.
But either way, what do you guys think? I mean, you have fun tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah, this is great. I need to find some time to do this more often.
Mhm.
Be good to be in a regular group.
It reminds me that I need to run demos more often because I enjoy doing them. Because there's no ongoing campaign, there's no attachments, there's no Nothing big going on. They can just be let the dice roll where they are, let this little story play out, and go forward. Because I haven't run a demo in ages.
Mm-hmm. I assume the orcs had some. Their popping out was on a particular die roll or something like that.
No, that was if they hit, they can pop free.
Okay. Because it was just sometimes you're able to pop, sometimes you're not. So it added. You didn't know what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So.
If they hit, they could pop free. They didn't always.
Okay.
But since if they did more damage and their attack roll was better, if they moved before attacking, they had every reason to pop free every time. Even there at the end, right before Draco killed the last one, the only reason he was still engaged was because I forgot to move him. Not that it would have made a difference, but that's the whole thing with the Raiders is they dive in, they attack. If they hit, they pop free, so they can do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Are they from the bestiary?
No, actually.
They're from the core book?
Crap. I can't remember what. I think they are modeled. I did some changes to them. I think they're modeled after something here in the core book. Let me look.
They were kind of fun.
I think I started with the. I started with the Orc Warrior and then I adjusted them.
I want to say there was. Excuse me. I want to say there was something similar in 4E D&D that was like a skirmisher or something that had something of a similar tactic.
Yeah, these I felt specifically to go in, attack, get out again.
Cool.
I could tweak them a little bit so that they only get the attack and not the damage if they move, or vice versa. I haven't decided yet. I've got a couple weeks to think. Oh, we're gonna have to think about any changes that we need to do to the demos. I might just leave it as is.
The other way you could adjust it is the popping free could be on a given roll.
It could be.
But that's a little fiddly. It felt good. It felt good.
Yeah. I mean, it's dependent on a hit, so that's the reason I felt okay with it being like that. If they don't hit at all, they're not getting anywhere.
Which would have made a big difference if we'd had a fighter or a paladin who actually had some decent AC floating around.
If you had somebody that was tougher to intercept, it probably would have gone a lot better. A fighter would have been best, but a paladin would have been good too.
Yeah.
And I like the flexible attacks. It was nice to be able to say, okay, I'm going to hit, and then what can I do with that?
I love flexible attacks.
I love flexible attacks.
I'm playing a fighter in a Ravenloft game on my off Wednesdays, and flexible attacks are so goddamn much fun. They really are. It's like, let's roll and see what I got. Oh, let's see, I can do this attack or this attack. It's great. I love it. I think fighter is my favorite class because of the flexibility.
Fighter's fun.
It is.
I wasn't sure I was going to like the rogue. I'm still not sure, but I think most of that is because of my dice rolling today.
A rogue benefits a lot from other melee fighters.
Yes.
Not even just squishies, but if it had been like a ranger, other tanks. Like if it had been a ranger, it would have been okay. A barbarian would have been fine too. But when you're like the only real serious melee-oriented character, it's harder.
Yeah, I thought I was going to see the sorcerer sort of in close a little bit more, given that sorcerer had spell fist and had a higher AC, so could have gotten right in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it wasn't until the last enemy was left standing that anyone was engaged.
Yeah.
Also, because you kept hitting, you kept popping them free. It's like, sneak attack.
It would have been slightly if this had been a bigger group, the dynamics of the enemies would have been slightly different. There is if there were 4 of you, there would have been an Orc Tusker who was a pure melee, get the hell in, brutalize, stay there kind of monster.
That would have made a difference.
It could have been a difference, yeah. Though it also has abilities to pop free and does more damage on the charge, which is part of the reason that I made the Raiders too. I figured it was thematically good because
Yeah.
these guys are raiding the village. They're quick, they're light, in and out, that sort of thing. But yeah, the dynamics would have changed a little bit more had there been more players.
Well, and probably if there had been more players, it wouldn't have been another squishy.
That's
Yeah.
true.
There weren't that many choices left that way.
Yeah, there could have been a squishy in there.
You could have had the wizard.
Yeah, could have been the
We could have
wizard.
had the wizard. We could have had the bow ranger. You know.
Yeah, it still could have been squishy if there were another player. It's only when you start getting to 5 that you're like, all right, somebody's taking a melee. I mean, unless you're really going out of your way.
Right.
At 5, you expect somebody to be having a melee-centric character. But the fight went. I thought the fight was fun. I thought I like the sorts of fights where it comes down to the last, and you're like, it's them or us in that last couple turns. That's how I prefer the fights. I think, strangely, this probably should have been an easier fight. One thing I've learned with 13th Age is that if you built for a fair fight, the players usually win.
Yes.
Relatively. And these are all the demos are roughly built for a fair fight. And this one is too. This is a straight up 3 on. I had 3 points to work with, and I put 3 points worth of monsters in. So I figured this would actually probably have been a little easier for you guys. Maybe because of your bad rolling, maybe because of the party composition. But yeah, towards the end I was like, I don't want to kill the entire party. I will, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely could have ganged up a little bit more. I mean, you could have, with not too much effort, have concentrated fire a little bit more.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I played it like these orcs. I wasn't metagaming in the least.
Yeah.
Even thinking about it, going, who would these orcs go after in this situation? That was a pure role-playing thing on my part. Is this is who this person would go after. So yeah, if I had ganged up more, if I played it more tactically, if I played it like like I wanted to kill the party, I probably would have. But no, I'm playing it like it works.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it still ended up being a closer fight than I would have expected.
Well, we missed with a bunch of our big things early on.
Yeah.
Early on, we got behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, missing with your dailies, pain.
It is, yes. So yeah, it went.
Shadow walk didn't work, and
Yeah, when I thought when Draco you rolled the 31 damage, I was like, man, this fight's gonna be over in moments, and it turns out that it was really a third less.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like you missed, but yeah, going from 31 damage to 9 is a tremendous drop, especially at this level.
Yeah. It would have been 13 if you'd just taken the first 3 dice before they started doing the exploding.
Yeah.
Even that, I think, would have helped.
Which I would have done. I would have done that, but you rolled again. So I was like, okay, that's the one I'm going to take. But even 13, I mean, that's still, you're losing 18 damage going from that much to that much. But yeah, it was.
But those extra 4 points of damage might have put one of those mooks down a round earlier.
Right.
Yes, actually, it would have put one of them down 1 round earlier.
Yeah. Which would have eased things a bit.
Yeah, just slightly. Honestly, the mooks you kept getting right on the dot. These mooks basically had 10 hit points each, and you guys kept getting it at. All right, you got it at 20. You got it at 30, then you got it at 10, and the 4 would have made a difference at the very end when that last mook had 3 hit points left. So that's where the difference would have made. He would have gotten one less hit on Hallister. So that, but still, that's one less hit.
I think the fact that I went 3 or 4 rounds without hitting anybody.
3 rounds.
3 rounds? That's bad.
Yeah, when you finally got momentum, it's like, don't you get that when you hit? It's like, oh yeah, he hasn't hit anyone yet this bad.
But yeah, the dice rolling went the other way. It started off.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that I was rolling spectacularly. I just wasn't rolling bad, and you guys were rolling bad. And then you guys finally started rolling better, plus the escalation die, and I started rolling very poorly.
Well, and without the escalation die, if you'd had a critter out there that could muck with the escalation die, turn it back, stop it for a turn, use it itself, we would have been, like, if there'd been a small dragon in here, we would have been so dead.
Yeah, if you guys had actively attempted to ambush these guys, and if you'd said, all right, we're going to do an ambush, and succeeded, you would have started with the escalation die at 1. That would have been your benefit for ambushing these guys and sneaking up on them like you did.
Yes, but then I fumbled.
Yes. But yeah, I think it went okay. I think it went a little long, but I think a lot of that was technical problems.
Yeah.
This probably should have been closer to 2.5 hours, give or take, instead of the 3 we ended up with, roughly.
Okay.
Which is good because I was worried that the opening parts and the skill challenge might add too much to the time, because that wasn't in the original demo. That was
just the fight.
What's that?
The original demo was just the fight.
The original demo, if you go and read what's on the website, on the Pelgrane website, the Rob Hintzu's 2-hour demo, it has the different fights, the 4 different fights, and some magic items, and more or less otherwise it tells you make it up.
Okay.
So when I originally was running these demos, I decided to make each set of enemies into a separate demo, a separate demo scenario, I should say, and then I built up a story, basic, admittedly, and some descriptions and a quest, a plot hook, so the GM doesn't have to, in this case me, doesn't have to make up everything on the fly from the beginning.
But it's great. One of the things I really like about it is you hit all of the sweet points. You had a montage, you had skill rolls, you had build up with the character building time, and then you had a good fight.
And that's exactly
everything.
And that's why it's better now than it was when I first wrote it, because when I first wrote it, I hadn't started working on Tales yet, and in fact, I don't think the first season of Tales, Lich King, was even out when I wrote these demos. So, having run the organized play and having written on organized play, I was able to go, I know what I can do to make these better, and I can.
Yeah.
I add in the montage. I put stuff on you guys where it's like, okay, you tell me why you're here.
Yes.
I like that part.
And yeah, I love doing that. I write it into every adventure I fucking have, where I'm making the players go around the table and tell me stuff. Because I love doing that. I love giving players narrative control like that.
It's one of the selling points of the game. It's one of the things the technology of the game gives you.
Yeah.
It's one of the things it focuses on. So if you're trying to give people a demo and here's a feel of what it's like, it's really critical to have that. And while half the time was spent in the battle, the combat, I think, is one of the necessary parts of the game, but it's not where the most interesting parts are usually.
Combat can be a lot of fun, and for most people, it is a lot of fun. But even then, you can give players narrative control, which is why I ask all of you to describe how things die. I can't claim credit for creating that. I know Draco, it's Sam, DM Sam, who first introduced me to it. I think he got it from someone else too. No matter what game I do, I go, if you kill something, you're telling me how you killed it. because even that one little bit of narrative control that you give the players, kind of, they might not be thinking about, well, if I can describe how I killed this guy, maybe I can describe something else cool that I did. And it's that little crack that opens the door. And that's why I really enjoy doing it. And plus, as a GM, I don't want to have to describe how everything is.
Yeah.
I can.
Shouldering some of that burden is kind of nice.
Yeah. I enjoy making stuff up. I enjoy describing things, but pushing some of that back onto the players, I really like doing that because in a lot of cases, they're going to come up with something that I wouldn't have thought of, that I would have never presented as part of the description, and they might run with it. I mean, who knows? So I really like doing that. I like letting the players have control, not just for their own sake, but for my sake too. It makes the game better for me as well as a GM, and that's something that I'm not sure everybody really realizes, is that if your GM gets bored, all of a sudden you don't have a game anymore.
Yeah.
So keeping your GM entertained is always a very good thing to keep in mind, because it's kind of the focal point, the stone on which everything else is built.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, and I think the skill montage is probably a real big part of that, because it's, again, we're coming up with challenges and then coming up with how we solve them. So.
Yeah,
And those are great.
I really like doing that. Those are fun to write. Those are fun to interpret. Because, like, all right, because you guys describe stuff, and it's like, all right, you've described this. I have to, as a GM, interpret how that's. Let's say if you failed, I have to interpret how that means you've encountered a danger or an obstacle, and so it keeps me on my toes too. It's not just you having to create stuff. I have to make up stuff on the fly too as a GM in those situations. And plus, those are really fun to write. The descriptions on the traps for some of these. You guys only ran into the bear traps, and you already got the description for that, which is that you don't know if they're actually purposeful or if the orcs find them funny.
Right.
Some of the other ones, the tainted water. That stream you stopped at earlier for a drink of cool, clear water, it wasn't quite as clear as you thought. Sturge swarm. This swarm of immature sturges wants to drink your tea.
Sturges are deadly.
Falling tree. Trees naturally fall all the time in the forest. You've picked right now to get in the way of one. Lucky you. And that's actually how I wrote these in. So it's entertaining as hell to write these things. But those were some of the ones you could have faced. But yeah, that's why this demo is so much better now than it was before, is that I've taken some of those experiences from running the game, writing for Tales, running Tales, and like I can give a more full experience of 13th Age now than I could a year ago. And I can make the monsters better. I made the whole demo vastly better than it was a year ago.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of looking over the Annie Awards just to sort of see what's out there.
What one product did they done product of the year yet?
No, I don't think they've done product
always
of
the
the
last
year
one.
yet.
Yeah, I think it's coming up.
Yeah. Pathfinder Adventure Card Games took gold for best related product.
Basically, if it's Pathfinder, it tends to win, period.
Eternal Lies took something.
Eternal Lies has taken, I think, 2 or maybe even 3.
It's a great.
Yeah.
I'm running that now on Mondays. It's a great adventure.
Best Adventure.
I don't.
Oh, best game.
I don't have that, but I want to get it.
I don't have it yet. When they did the bundle of holding, we were just shy of getting that added
I was
in.
really surprised it didn't get that far.
Yeah, I was
sad about
disappointed.
Best game is about to be announced.
Yes, I'm just seeing that right now.
Silver, Numenera got silver. I bet Fate Core won.
Yeah, probably.
I bet.
The advantage of getting it out to 10,000 people. That's a lot of voters.
Yeah.
Fate Accelerated won earlier today.
Oh, for supplement.
Yeah, it won Best Family Game.
Oh, that was like Family Game.
Best Family Game, yeah.
Basically, Evil Hat is winning a lot of stuff right now.
Good for them.
Because they won silver for the Fate dice.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Best games. Here we go.
Yeah, I know. I expected Numenera to bring home gold because, well, let's face it, it's a popularity contest.
Well, it really swept the Origins, so I expected it to.
Yeah, I think it's a fun game.
Be for gold.
That'd be good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I would like 13th Age to win, but I don't think it will. I don't think it's just. I don't think it's got the install base.
It could be Hillfolk again. I mean, but I guess these are all people voted on them, so
yeah.
It's probably Fate. Probably Fate Core.
To be perfectly honest, for me, the super interesting part of the Ennies ends at the nominations, because as soon as it's turned into a popularity contest, it's like it's not really about what's the best product. It's about who is
who can marshal the most voters, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Who's got the biggest odds? Because like Tremulous is up for best game.
Yeah.
Tremulous was never ever going to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic game. It's a really good game. I think it's better than Numenera far and away. But it was never going to win because it doesn't have the same install base that all of the other games have for best game. And so that's why for me the nominations are where if you get nominated, you, as far as I'm concerned, you have won. Because again, it's like I was saying earlier, if there's a Pathfinder product, it's taking first or second, and that's just the way it is.
I was surprised. Was it last year that Shadows of Esteren won a lot of awards? It's like,
yeah.
It's like, is that? I mean, that was one where it's like I didn't think it had a lot of. I mean, I had barely.
Yeah, I don't think Fate Core won gold.
Okay. All right.
Not excellent. Yeah, as soon as Numenera did not win gold, I knew it was Fate. Pun not intended.
Well, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's great. The Fate Core I love. I really enjoy. I really enjoy all of Evil Hat stuff. I really do. I love Fate Core. I've got Atomic Robo RPG. I've got a whole bunch of other stuff. They do good work.
Mm-hmm. I'm giving Atomic Robo a try for the first time on Thursday.
I'm playing a play-by-post Atomic Robo,
mm-hmm.
Which has so far been a lot of fun. Slow going, but I mean that's play-by-post for you.
Yeah.
But either way, it's fun. I love Atomic Robo in general, so getting to play the RPG is fantastic, and it's a really good, well done game too.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just done a skin of Fate Core and it would have been fine, but they actually made it more.
Gorgeous book too, with all that art.
It is. It really is. Let's see. Pelgrane's won. Eternal Eyes won.
Best RPG adventure. Yeah.
Yeah. Best production values.
Oh, sweet. And 13 Age won something?
Best rules.
Best rules. Silver for best rules.
Silver for best rules, and what took first place?
Fate Core.
Fate Core.
Which I think is fantastic.
Fate Core, Gold Eddie for best rules. Excellent.
Yeah. And it's not a surprise. I think Fate Core has a lot of a broad appeal, whereas 13th Age is, if you're not into fantasy games, not relatively well plugged into fantasy games. You might not have played it or heard much about it.
Well, it's in, fantasy games are a big niche, but it's kind of competing with D&D and Pathfinder. You've got that market. It's a big niche that's split out in Dungeon World. It's split into like 4, whereas Fate Core is relatively unique.
And it's split even further than that if you want to dig deeper.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Yeah. Fantasy is Fantasy is
writing.
very full.
Which is good because it used to be just there was really just D&D and there wasn't anything else. So the variety is great.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining. I really like the variety. I can think of like almost a half dozen fantasy RPGs that are not D&D and Pathfinder that I could play right now if I wanted to, and have a good time with them. And I'd start with the One Ring, but that's just me.
Yeah, I love the One Ring.
Dungeon World.
Yeah, the one.
I've never played the One
got
Ring, but I bought it. Funnily enough, I bought it at Gen Con 3 years ago. And I've never been able to play it since, but I still love the hell out of it.
We almost played it once.
We did. We almost. I noticed the other day. I was like, "What the hell is this? This on my Obsidian port? Oh yes, it's the One Ring game that never happened.
That never happened because half the players flaked.
Well, I know our Saturday Hangouts game's looking for one more person if people are interested.
Yeah,
but it's like every week on Saturday night, though.
Yeah.
Which is why we're looking for people.
Yeah, no, trust me. As much as I might like to, I can't commit to that right now. Not every week, because Saturday is usually when I do my prep for when I actually have a Sunday game. That's when I do.
Sword again.
Fake core.
Fate Core.
So I wonder what Gold's going to be then.
That may be Numenera.
It could also be one of the board game ones. I mean, those are the other categories too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know one of those.
Oh, I mean, I suppose it could go to Pathfinder Adventure Card Game.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. It
Might.
might.
Pretty popular.
Yeah.
Silver for best product goes to Fate Core, followed by Fred Hicks' maniacal laughter. Excellent.
More or less, yeah.
Dave the Game.
Yeah, you have to have maniacal laughter if your company's Evil Hat, I guess.
I think honestly, Fate Core or Fate or Evil Hat, I guess, has really won the Ennies as far as variety of wins and product.
Numenera have like dominated a lot of stuff.
I expected Numenera to win more, honestly.
Yeah, so did I. With money,
they did win some,
but
I expected them to win more than they did.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with them in the Strange next year, because actually, I find the Strange a lot more compelling as a gold product of the year. Numenera, just one.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's interesting that they're swapped. They were the other way around for
Origins.
game. For best game, wasn't it the other way around?
Yeah, best game was the other way around.
So they swapped. That's interesting.
Yep.
I guess it's just a weird part of the way the board works.
Or maybe it's just. I mean, Numenera probably had better production values or something. I don't know.
So I don't know if you guys just saw Dave Chalker's post. That's hilarious.
Just saw it.
I'll see it when I catch up on my timeline.
I didn't, but I'm okay with that. But anyway, let's go.
I saw a retweet.
Let's end the on-air part of the broadcast.
Oh yeah, probably.
Goes live.
Say goodbye to our viewers tonight and the ones who may watch in the future. So, good night, everybody.
Good fun, everybody.
Bye.